Hi students, this is the lecture number 6 ML6. In the last lecture we have studied composite functions. We know that composite function means it is the function obtained by using two functions. But this number is not 2 alone, it can be 3 also, it can be 4 also. That means given 3 functions we can form a composite function. Given 4 functions also we can form a composite function. Let us take for example f is a function from a to b, g is a function from b to c, and fg h is a function from c to d. Then we can form the composite function. First function is f, therefore we should have this is last, so I have to write h of g of f. So this is the composite function of three functions. Now, if instead of A, B, B, C, C, D, different domain and codomain, if you have the same domain AA, here also AA, here also AA, then you can form the composite function in any order. So this is because composite function can be formed only when condition is when you write g of f, this should be the codomain of the first function and that should be the domain of the second function. But when all of them are equal, we can form in any order. So this is it. Let me take one example of this type of composite function. Let us say f of x equal to say x cube plus 1 and g of x equal to let us say x square and h of x equal to say sin x. Then we can write, for example, h of g of f of x, this equal to, first what you have to do is f of x you have to take, so h of g of then f of x, so this equal to h of then g of then f of x. So this is the definition. Now what you have to do is replace this by the given function. So h of then g of f of x is x cube plus 1. So I have to write x cube plus 1. Then this equal to g of x is x square. Therefore in place of x, if you put x cube plus 1, this should be squared. Therefore it is h of g of x is x cube plus 1 its square. So this of course you can write h of x cube plus 1 square is x power 6 plus 2x cube plus 1. Then h of x takes x to sin x. So this takes this function to sin x. So sin of x6 plus 2x cube plus 1. This is the function. So like this we can form the composite function with any number of given functions. Today let us study some of the properties of composite functions. Properties of composite functions. So you can take it as theorem. Let f comma g comma h from R to R, that means domain is also R, codomain is also R, be three functions. Then first one is f of g of h is same as f of then g of h. This means it is associative. Composite functions are not commutative, but they are associative. Therefore this property associative property. Second one is f plus g of H. If you write F plus G of H, this is F of H. F of H plus G of H. So this is the property. So you can remember this like this. A plus B into H is A into H plus B into H, like that. And the third one is here plus is there. If you write A into F into G of H, then what happens is exactly same F of H. F of H. Then here into G of H. G of H. So these two are called distributive property. Addition also distributive, multiplication also distributive. So distributive property. Then you can also include one more. This is not mentioned in your textbook, but we can take for any function f of I. I means identity function. This is f. So whenever you take the composite function of a function with the identity function, you get the same function. So I will prove one or two. Remaining same way you can try. So let me take the first one and the second one. You can try these two yourself. Consider. See, the first one is this. First property is f of g of h equal to f of then g of h. That means bracket can be interchanged. That is associative. So to prove this one, what you have to do is take the left hand side, simplify. Take the right hand side, simplify. Show that both are equal. So that's what I am going to do. So consider f of g of h of, then you take any value x in the domain. So by definition, this will be equal to f of g of h of x. Try to understand this definition, because f of g of x means what we do is f of then bracket g of x. This is the definition of composite function. So here this itself you can take as one single function for the time being. So what happens is this we have tried here. Now once again this you can take as an element h of x, something as y. So this will be f of g of h of x. So this I think, let me write this as 1. This is 1. Now let us take the same thing here. So second one is next. When you write this f of then bracket g of h then bracket x. So here you see this you can treat as the first function. So this will be equal to, by definition, f of then g of h of x, using the same definition. So this is inside, what you can write is g of bracket h of x, definition once again. So this is f of then g of h of x. Let us say this is 2. Now you can see left hand side, right hand side, left hand side, right hand side. These two are one and the same. So definitely, therefore you can say this function must be equal to this function. So from 1 and 2, f of g of h is same as f of g of h. So this is the property. Associative property is proved. Let me take one more, and then the remaining two you please try. The second property, that is distributive property, says this. Distributive property says this. F plus g of h equal to f of h plus g of h. F of h plus g of h. So now same method. So this is second. Take left hand side, simplify. Take right hand side, simplify. Show that both are equal. Therefore, let us take consider f plus g of h of x. This is equal to, by definition, h of x. Therefore, it is f plus g of h of x. But now, how to write this one? In the last year, in the second chapter functions, we have done this. F plus g of x, addition of two functions, is f of x plus g of x. This is the definition. Therefore, here f plus g of h of x therefore must be equal to f of h of x, plus g of h of x, But now here, what is f of bracket h of x? Definition, it is f of h of x. Similarly, this one, g of h of x, definition of composite function. Now the same condition for addition we can take here also. If f plus g of x is f of x plus g of x, similarly f of x plus g of x can be written as f plus g of x. So using that, I can write this as f of h plus g of h of x. Now it is very clear. This equal to this implies this function must be equal to this for any value of x. So therefore, f plus g then of h must be equal to f of h plus g of h. So this proves the distributive property. So the remaining two, you please try yourself. Then the next one is, we have studied one function and onto function, one function and onto function, and we have studied composite function now. Let us combine these two. That is, if you take a function f, which is 1, 1, if you take a function g, which is 1, 1. Now the question is this: suppose f of g or g of f is defined, is it 1? This is the question. Same question. If it is onto, if this is onto, is g of f onto? Second question. Third question is, if this is bijective, is this bijective? So these are the three questions. So we shall study three important theorems. The theorem says this: if two functions are 1, the composite function is also 1. If two functions are onto, composite function is also onto. Definitely, if two functions are bijective, composite function should be bijective. So let us study this one. First theorem is this: let f from x to y and g from y to z be 1, 1 functions, then g of f from x to z is also 1. So this is the first theorem. So let us prove this one. Let us prove this. How to prove 1 function? First, try to recollect the method. F is 1 means we have to show that f of x1 equal to f of x2. should imply x1 equal to x2. This is the only method we adopt actually. I told you many times. Same thing we do here. Now what I should show is g of f is 1 means I should show g of f of x1 equal to g of f of x2 implies x1 equal to x2. That's what we are going to do. So let us take consider. Of course you have to write the condition. So in any theorem first you write the condition. So I will not do that one. Let me directly take the proper say main proof. Consider g of f of x1 equal to g of f of x2. So by definition this equal to g of f of x1 and this is g of f of x2. Now this f of x1 is a single element. Say it is y1. This is y2. G of y1 equal to g of y2, but what is given is g is 1. So what should happen is this implies f of x1 should be equal to f of x2 because g is 1. Two different elements cannot go to two different images, so they should go to, so this implies once again. So here what should I write is condition is because g is 1. G is 1. Now same reasoning, f is also 1. Therefore f of x1 equal to f of x2 implies x1 equal to x2. So g of f of x1 equal to g of f of x2 implies x1 equal to x2 means g of f is 1. G of f is 1. So this is the proof for the first theorem. Now I will replace the same thing. I will not write once again. Here on to, then here also both are on. See, be on to. Then here also it is on to, but proof is different. So let us consider the proof again for the second theorem. Now before proving, once again, try to recall the method of proving onto. If a function is from A to B, if it is onto, what we should do is take an element from B, show that there is an element here which is the pre-image of that element. That means I have to prove y belonging to B, there must be x belonging to A, such that f of x equal to y. This is the method I told. So we are doing the same thing here also. Now argument is like this. So consider g of f which is from x to z. So I have to show that it is onto. That means corresponding to any element here, there must be some element here. That's the thing. So what I do is let you can take small z be an element in z. Small z be an element in z. Now, as this g is onto, this is given, g is onto, there exists y belonging to y such that g of y, this should be equal to z. So this is 1. Then same argument. See now y is in y, but y is also, this f is also onto. Corresponding to every y, there must be some x here. Therefore next y belongs to y as f is onto, there exists x belonging to x such that y should be, or g f of x, this should be equal to y. So this is 2. Now take this condition z equal to g of y. Therefore now consider z, but z is same as g of y, but this is same as y is f of x. Therefore I have to write g of f of x. But we know by definition g of f of x is same as g o f of x. So what did we prove is, therefore corresponding to every z in z there exists x such that g of f of x equal to z. This implies for any or for all, for any z belonging to z, there exists x belonging to x such that g of f of x equal to z. So this implies g o of f is onto. So this is the method. Now at this point I will leave the third proof for you, that is, if f and g are bijective, then show that g of f is also bijective, which is very simple. These two proofs you have to combine, that's all. Now one more question I will just raise today in this session. In the next we shall try to answer. Suppose g of f is 1 1. Can you say that both g and f are 1 1? This is one. Same way, if it is onto, can you say that g of f, g is onto and f is onto? And same thing for bijective. If this is bijective, can you say that both f and g are bijective? That is, whether the converse theorem is also true. This is a question. We shall study them in the next class. Let me sum up today. So what we have done is, taking three functions we can form composite function. Then we have studied associative, then distributive properties. Then one more property is f of I is f. Then we studied three important theorems. Composite function of bijective function is bijective. Composite function of 1 1 function is 1 1. Composite function of onto function is onto. So with this let me conclude. In the next session I told whether the converse of this theorem is true, we shall study. So I hope you have subscribed to my channel. If you have not yet, please subscribe and share with your friends. So let us grow together. So this is a favor you are doing to me. So thank you. Let us see in the next ML7 session.